Hey Taurus, welcome to your weekly forecast for January 3rd through the 9th. This is going to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Now I'm setting the intention for the 3rd through the 9th. However, you're going to stumble across this video whenever you're meant to hear the messages. You might find it at a much later time, and that's okay. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the Taurus collective. Therefore, not every single message is going to resonate. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my lovely, darling Taurus friends, let's see what messages are coming up for you guys. And Happy New Year, by the way. We are starting a whole new year. All right, let's see what is happening for our lovely, lovely Taurus friends. The first card that's coming up is the Six of Swords. So we already know that you're coming into this week with the energy and the feeling of like just, you are not having any drama. You are not about it. You are not about anything that's going to be disrupting your peace or distracting you. Some of you have been having a lot of drama in your life. So you may be taking steps to disconnect or to get away from that drama. The Six of Swords can be smoother sailing, calmer waters, a place where you can actually hear yourself think, figure out what you want to do, figure out how you're moving ahead. I do feel that some of you are going to be moving to a quieter place. You're manifesting a quieter place to live. Maybe you're living in a neighborhood that's really loud or noisy, or there's an apartment building where the walls are very thin and you can hear everything that's going on. Or maybe you're living with other people and there's constantly just chaos and action happening. Even if it's not drama, even if it's not fighting or arguing, it just might be a lot going on, a lot of noise. I feel for some reason some of you feel like your nerves are just frazzled, like you're needing that peace and quiet, and you're manifesting peace and quiet. Now, I'm going to say something because some of you Taurus are feeling very sad and very depressed and very hopeless because you feel stuck in a living situation that you feel like you keep trying to get out of, but you keep getting pulled back in. Maybe you've moved out of your parents' home or away from a sibling several times, but you find yourself coming back time and time again, and you're like, am I ever going to get out of here for good? Or am I ever going to be able to, make enough money to get my own place and not need a roommate or not need to be here? Sometimes we get stuck in these cycles or situations because we have some kind of like resentment cord with those people. We're bound by resentment. We're bound by hurt feelings. So if we can leave the situation and move past it emotionally, spiritually, mentally, our body will follow and we will leave it physically. We won't be bound to it anymore. And it'll happen quite effortlessly. Like you're this balloon full of helium and you're just going to float off and float away and just go your merry little way. So if you're in this kind of a situation, if you can work on releasing these people from any expectation, because they may have failed you. Maybe they failed to protect you when you were younger. Maybe they've never had your back. Maybe they've never defended you when people spoke negatively of you. Maybe they were the ones speaking negatively of you. Okay? Maybe they expect a lot for you financially, but they're never there for you emotionally. Whatever it might be, release them from that expectation. And even though it hurts that they did not fulfill this need that you have, and that you have a right to feel that way, remind yourself that they do not control the universe and they do not control your life experiences. And just because they didn't give you love or support or protection, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get it elsewhere. God, universe, higher power will align you with that. You will receive it, just not from them. And that's okay. And you can just release them of that expectation and say, Now I'm ready to receive it from wherever I meant to receive it. And just like that, you can cut that cord of resentment. Some of you that you're like, I need this peace. I need this quiet. But I don't know how I'm going to get out of here. My nerves are driving me nuts. Spirit is showing me that because I was in that kind of situation a while back where, again, it wasn't like people fighting. It wasn't people at each other's throats. It wasn't drama, but it was just a lot of noise, of just constant noise, constant conversation. You might try to like go in the other room and they're coming and knocking on, Taurus, hey, Taurus, have you seen my shoes? Do you know where my toothbrush is? Are you gonna eat that last apple that's left? Can I have the apple? It could just be like whatever, but you're just like, oh my God, just shut up and leave me alone. Your nerves might be frazzled because of this chaos that's coming into your space. If you can, find some cheap little, earbuds, earphones, headphones, whatever. Doesn't have to be anything expensive. Just put them on and disconnect. Listen to some music. Listen to a podcast. Listen to something that's inspirational and uplifting. Walk around the place with your earbuds on. Somebody tries to talk to you. I'm listening to something important right now. Right? And eventually they'll just leave you alone. Oh, okay. Taurus has their headphones on. Taurus has their earbuds in. They can't hear us. Right? And this gives you an opportunity to disconnect from that space emotionally, mentally, and then physically will follow. The next card that's coming up for you guys is the Justice card. And this is a major arcana card. So a lot of you have heard me say when the major arcana cards come up, this is a significant chapter in your life. This is a significant turning point. This is something you came here to experience. And the Justice card is also representative of Libra energy. So some of you could be dealing with a Libra. That's a significant connection at this time. Some of you could have a Libra placement. If you have a Libra placement, there could be big changes or big shifts happening for you in that area of your life or in those houses that are opening up doors for opportunities for you, for change, for shifting. Now, the Justice card is about balancing the head and the heart. And some of you have some big decisions to make, and you're not sure what you should do. Your head's telling you one thing, your heart's telling you another. Your head might be telling you one thing because your head might be talking to you from the aspect of the negative ego. The aspect of, oh, well, that's never going to work. And your heart might be saying, but I really want this, I really want this, I really want this. And you're like, gosh, man, when I listen to my heart, I get burned. When I listen to my head, I'm absolutely miserable. My life is void of any joy or any magic. And you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. The Justice card is saying you don't pick between the one or the other. You don't pick the head or the heart. You do both. You bring them together. You make them work together. This is what my heart wants. Okay, brain, how can I make this happen? What is a way that I can be successful at this? Negative ego will come in and say, you'll never be successful at it. Give up. Shut up. You're terrible. You're horrible. You're meant to be miserable. That's the negative ego. Because the negative ego hates change, even when the change is positive, even when the change is good. So use it as a gift. Okay, negative ego is telling me all the reasons why this isn't going to work. And maybe some of these are logical, possible fears to have. But what might be solutions? What might be ways that I could get over those problems or those hurdles or those bumps in the road? What is a way that I could approach it that it could work? And then you have a foolproof plan. It's about balancing the head and the heart, bringing logic into the process instead of just willy-nilly, unprepared, jumping out like the fool and hoping for the best. You want to jump in a way where you have a safety net. You want to jump in a way where you're scheduling or planning how you're going to land, when you're going to land. It's about bringing the two together. It's not choosing between one or the other. The Justice card also comes up for me a lot of the times when you might be faced with a situation where you're having to stand up for yourself, because the lesson here is that nobody is above you. Everybody is equal. Nobody is above you. So you might find yourself in a situation where you're being treated unfairly, unethically, less than, and you might be having a life lesson where Spirit is saying you need to stand up for yourself. But you need to stand up for yourself within the rules, within the system. So you might be in a situation where in order to stand up for yourself, you may be having to report someone or hold them up to be accountable for the things they've been doing wrong. Or taking them to court and saying, this person is being unethical. This person is violating my rights. This person needs to face the consequences for their wrong actions, and they need to compensate me for what they've done or what they've put me through. It could be an unfair, unjustifiable termination. It could be a discrimination of some kind. It could be harassment. It could just be unsafe working conditions. It could be somebody that misled you or lied to you, and now you're holding them accountable because they swindled you in some way. You did something on good faith and they were being fraudulent. It could be someone that owes you child support, and for a long time you let it go because you were like, you know what, I'm not gonna, let myself worry about this. I'm gonna handle my own business and I'm gonna get by without this person. I don't even need them. But some of you might be coming to the place where you're like, you know what, I'm making good money and I'm good, but this person needs to learn they don't just get to do that. It's like it might not even be about the money for you, but it's about standing up for yourself and saying this person needs to respect their responsibility. This person's not going to shrug me off. This person's not going to shrug off their responsibilities. So some of you might be deciding to pursue child support. Even though, bless you, God bless you, you have done what you need to do to take care of your family. It's not about the money, it's about the principle. So some of you might be calling somebody to task with this Justice card. The next card that's coming up for Taurus is the Seven of Pentacles. And Seven of Pentacles is hard work that's going to pay off. And sometimes it comes up to say that we are worrying unnecessarily. Maybe you're putting a lot of work and effort into something, and Spirit is saying, look, that hard work, that effort, it's going to pay off. You're not going to go without. It just takes time. Some of you might be pursuing a legal process, and the Seven of Pentacles is saying it'll work out for you. It'll work in your favor, but it's going to take time. But as long as you are putting in the energy, right? You're doing the research, you're getting the counsel, you're getting the proper legal advice, you're taking the proper steps, things will pan out. Things will resolve. It might not be a legal situation. It might be just effort that you're putting in at work or in your career or studying really hard. Seven of Pentacles is saying this is not an overnight process. This is something that takes some time, and you're going to do well. But you don't want to obsess about it. You don't want to put so much energy into it that you're not giving Spirit any room to help. Right? Like, for example, you might be really determined to get out of a place or a living situation. But you don't want to be spending, sleepless nights 24/7, obsessing about it and, applying to this place and applying to that place and doing this and doing that. You put out the effort, you do the research, you take the steps, And then you surrender and you say, okay, God, I'm taking the steps. I'm leaving room for you to step in and help me. Don't do something obsessively. Don't pursue it obsessively. Just because you're pursuing something obsessively, it doesn't mean it's going to get done quicker or it's going to resolve more quickly. And the example that I give with the Seven of Pentacles is if I had you over for dinner and I'm like, hey, Taurus, welcome to my house. We're going to, have dinner and it'll be ready in a minute. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, sure. Can I help? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know what? I didn't have time to make the salad. There's some veggies in the fridge. Why don't you go ahead and start getting the salad going? And then so you go and you get all the salad stuff out of the fridge and you have it on the counter and you're looking around for a knife or something or whatever, and I just come in and I push you aside and I know where the knife is, so I just start doing it, and then you're like, oh, okay, well then I guess I'll go check on the rice, or I guess I'll go check on what's in the oven. And then I see you heading over to that part of the kitchen, and then I come over and I cut you off and I check the rice and I check the oven, and you try to go back to the salad, and then I go back and you're like, okay, Amethyst, can you let me do something? I'm trying to help, but you keep cutting me off. You keep coming into my space. You're not allowing me to help. Sometimes we do that with our angels and our guides. We're so frantic. We're in such a hurry. We're trying to do everything that we don't leave space for spirit to come in. Right? There's that old joke that people have, like a lot of people that went to a religious school or whatever, where at the school dances, they don't want the kids dancing too close to each other or grinding on each other, and they say leave some room for the Holy Spirit. Well, that process also applies with the process of things that we're working on in our life. We want to leave room for spirit to come in and help us. We want to leave room for our angels. And that can't happen if we're constantly obsessing and constantly trying to control every aspect of it. All you need to do is put in the effort and let nature and spirit take care of the rest. You plant the seed, you tend to it, you water it, you check on it, you rest a little bit, you plant another seed, you start another crop, you water it, you check on it, and you let the rest grow. You let nature do the rest. And so you want to have this balance. Some of you are standing up for yourself. Some of you are getting to a peaceful life. But you don't want to go after something with this insatiable vengeance. Leave some room for spirit to come in and to work its magic. The next card that's coming up here for you, Taurus, is the Seven of Wands. And some of you have heard me describe the Seven of Wands as, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's no need to be extra right now. You're making progress. You're on the right path. All you need to do is to be consistent. You don't need to do anything extra. Stand your ground. For some of you that you are taking somebody to task, you are standing up for yourself, there might be other people trying to get involved. Why are you doing this? This is wrong. Well, don't you know that you kind of look bad? You're not perfect yourself. You did this and you did that. Don't get distracted. Don't have these conversations with these people. They're not here to have a fair conversation with you. They're not here to understand your viewpoint. They're here to stir up conflict, to stir up trouble, to trip you up, to distract you, to pull you away from the path that you've been on. You don't need to answer. You don't need to get involved. Some of you might be taking legal action in a situation, and that person keeps coming and wanting to talk to you. Taurus, why did you do this? Hey, look, at this point, it's done. It's done. We already try to talk it out. It's done. Any communication that we're going to have, you can talk to my lawyer. You can go get a lawyer. Your lawyer can talk to my lawyer, but you're not talking to me. And in this way, you're disconnecting from that drama. You're not allowing it to rob you of your peace. It's not your problem. Somebody else is on it. Somebody else is handling it. Sometimes with the Seven of Wands, you need to be cautious of people who are trying to trigger you or upset you to make you look bad, to use something against you later. Do not engage with that negativity. Do not let people pull you down to their level. So a lot of changes here, a lot of shifts here, all for this whole purpose of this fresh start, this state of peacefulness, the state of calm. And just being able to have this new beginning. You may want to check out your moon sign, your rising sign. Some weeks that might resonate more for you than your sun sign. You may need a private video, a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do for you. If you go to calendly.com/amethystangelite, you can schedule a private reading with me there. The love and romance readings for January are listed in the description. The 2022 12-month forecasts are also listed in the description. Be sure to check those out if you haven't already. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I'm wishing you all a wonderful, wonderful week ahead. And again, a happy new year, Taurus. Take care, my dears.